Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a deep breath and a big jump into a stack of sources that offer something pretty rare.
It's like a roadmap, isn't it?
Exactly, a roadmap for building character, finding practical success, and just living well. And it pulls from everyone, from the ancients to, modern day thinkers and even athletes.
And all of these sources, they really seem to share one single demanding theme.
Demanding is the right word.
Yeah, they essentially challenge you on two really destructive habits. First, the whole insidious process of fooling yourself.
Self-deception.
Right. And second, that constant, often, useless search for validation from the outside world. So our mission today is to cut through all that noise.
Deliver the foundational truths, even the uncomfortable ones.
Especially the uncomfortable ones. That's where the growth is.
Okay, so if we're going to launch an attack on the stories we tell ourselves, we have to start where the sources did, with the ultimate warning.
The biggest one.
We're jumping right in with the legendary physicist Richard Feynman. He said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool."
Just think about that for a second. We are our own biggest source of misinformation. It's instinctive.
A defense mechanism.
Exactly. We protect ourselves from painful truths, about our health, our relationships, our work ethic, anything.
So if you build your whole life on that, on a foundation of lies you tell yourself,
Then what are you even working towards? No matter how smart your strategy is or how much time you put in, you're chasing a goal that isn't even real. All the other advice we're about to talk about, it just can't get through that layer of self-deception.
all right, so if that's the internal hurdle, the first major external illusion we have to shed is, it's the one we build around other people, the illusion of the tribe.
Robert Greene has written about this so much. He calls it transcending tribalism. And the thing is, tribalism is rooted in our primitive nature.
A survival instinct, right?
Yeah. A survival instinct that, served us really well thousands of years ago. But when you take that deep primal wiring and you add the immediate polarizing amplification of modern technology,
It becomes dangerous.
incredibly dangerous.
That feels like a huge leap, though. I mean, suggesting that, online arguments or rooting for a sports team are existential threats, if it's so primal, how do you even begin to dismantle that?
Well, the key insight from Greene is realizing that the urgency and the division we feel, it's mostly fabricated. He stresses that our differences, the things we fight over, are mostly an illusion.
An illusion.
Yeah. Imagining those differences, feeding them with fear and outrage. He calls it part of the madness of groups. The tribe needs an enemy to exist. It demands that you think in a very narrow way.
So if you can't trust the tribe, where does your loyalty go? Where's your sense of belonging?
You have to consciously decide that the main group you belong to is,
Yeah.
the human race.
Yeah.
We have to see ourselves as one large reality group.
That sounds a bit idealistic.
It sounds like it, but it's not poetry. It's a practical requirement to solve the huge human-made problems we're facing. And crucially, when you embrace humanity as your group, it forces you to cultivate inner diversity, which is the exact opposite of that narrow conforming mindset a small tribe demands.
That is a powerful shift. Okay, let's talk about another external illusion we chase all the time. Status. Circumstance. The sources had this fantastic, almost unbelievable story about Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, it's the perfect illustration. This was after his big fall from grace from his military career. Grant was struggling. I mean, he was literally selling firewood on the side of a road to survive.
Just to get by.
And an old friend, a former Confederate war buddy named Simon Buckner, he recognizes him. He stops his carriage and basically shouts, "Good God, Grant, what are you doing?"
And Grant's reply, this line should be on a monument somewhere. He just says, "I am solving the problem of poverty."
He just owned it.
Yeah.
He understood what the Stoics figured out millennia ago. External circumstances do not define your character.
Whether you're selling firewood or you're in the Oval Office.
Right. It's your internal response to hardship that matters. Status, wealth, reputation, all of it is temporary.
Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, he absolutely nailed this. He told himself to accept it without arrogance and let it go with indifference.
And he called success and failure imposters.
Imposters! I love that.
Because they are. They distract us from the constant reality of just being human. Marcus Aurelius would look back at the times of, say, Vespasian and Trajan and realize the core human struggle is always the same.
Nothing really changes.
Nothing. People were getting married, dying, scheming, falling ill, getting rich, getting poor. We think because we have new technology that our struggles are somehow unique. But the sources are clear. The core anxieties are the same.
Speaking of struggle, we fool ourselves when we refuse to start something because the conditions aren't perfect. Janet Erskine Stewart had this really blunt advice that just cuts right through that.
Do not wait for ideal circumstances, nor the best opportunities. They will never come. If you wait for everything to be just right, you've just given yourself a permanent excuse not to start. It's like we're preparing for failure while we're asking for success.
Oh, that's a good line.
This is from Florence Scovel Shinn. She said, if a man asks for success but prepares for failure, then he gets what he prepares for. We create this illusion that the path should be easy, and the moment it's not, we quit. And then we confirm the failure we were preparing for all along.
Okay, so if we accept that status is an illusion and that we can't wait for perfect circumstances, how do we actually build something real? And frankly, the answer the sources gave us is, it's uncomfortable. It means you have to embrace discomfort itself.
Growth requires friction. There's no way around it. We saw this in Josh Waitzkin's method for training the mind. He tells people to practice meditation first in a quiet, calm place.
The easy way first.
Right. But then you have to intentionally add distractions, physical discomfort, noise.
He calls it playing the it's so good game.
Yeah.
Basically, you train yourself to be resilient despite the noise, not because you've gotten rid of it. It's intentional. You're seeking out challenges to inoculate yourself against whatever comes next. That ability to endure, that is the foundation of character. Success is just a secondary result. The sources call it a lagging indicator.
And the story of Philip Meyer, the author of The Sun, is just the ultimate proof of this. He had massive success, right? But before that, he spent a decade in obscurity.
A full decade.
Wrote 2 terrible, unpublished novels.
Yeah.
Lived in his parents' basement, just constantly struggling. And his impression of that whole time was, all I did was fail.
That decade of struggle was the crucible. It was necessary. The wisdom, the skill, the strength. It's all built on years of enduring. That's the lagging indicator principle. Success isn't some flash of lightning. It's the result of a process you started long, long ago.
Nothing comes from nowhere.
Nothing significant does now.
And that gives so much context to the historical examples in the sources. You know, we hear about Seneca spending 10 years recovering from illness and exile, or Epictetus, who was a slave for decades before his philosophy really emerged. Even Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, he waited 23 years before he took the imperial purple.
So the waiting and the enduring, it wasn't passive. It was a prerequisite. The preparation was the learning.
Absolutely. But this raises a really critical question for anyone listening. If success is built on decades of what feels like suffering, how do you know the difference between productive endurance and just, chasing a lost cause?
That is a tough one. The sources seem to suggest the answer is in the quality of the internal work. Are you learning? Are you adapting your process?
Right.
If the struggle is focused on improving your character, your skills, then it's worthwhile. If you're just trying to force an external outcome when all the evidence says it's not working, that's when you have to reassess.
Exactly. And when you feel like you're stuck in that long, hard middle part, just remember that Kobe Bryant maxim that reframes the whole thing. He said, the moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win.
And that someone else isn't an opponent. It's you.
It's always the person you were yesterday. The competition is internal.
That internal strength. It's never more obvious than when we have to do one of the absolute hardest things. Forgiveness.
Yeah, the sources are crystal clear on this. Forgiveness is not for the weak. We tend to think holding a grudge is a sign of strength, but all it does is tie you to the injury, to the other person.
It reclaims your future.
Precisely. Forgiveness is a profound mark of spiritual strength because it means you're letting go of control over the past. You break the cycle of anger, which the sources describe as a spiritual sickness. It lets you heal, gives you clarity, and lets you put your energy back into your own life. It's essential for character.
It's so easy to fool ourselves into thinking the solution to all this, better character, more resilience, is just more. More time, more resources, more complexity.
We all do it.
You skip family dinner to squeeze in 1 more hour of work, and the problem is still there in the morning. The sources challenge this directly. We don't need more time. We need support.
That is such a fundamental reframing. It's saying the quality of your existing structure, your routines, your team, your health, is way more important than the volume of your effort. Dan John, the coach, he puts it so simply. More is not better. Better is better.
Better is better.
And if you apply that, You stop adding new commitments, and you start improving how you do the few things that really matter.
Speaking of focus, the sources bring up Athia's rule, which is a perfect real-world example of this. It's about focusing on fundamentals instead of getting lost in all the complex debates we have around modern health.
Yeah, Addie's rule says that the lowest hanging fruit in your health and longevity is strength training. And the implication is huge. Stop arguing about expensive supplements. Stop debating niche diets until your exercise house is in order.
Do the simple, powerful thing first.
Exactly. And this idea applies to our daily actions, too. It keeps us from getting overwhelmed. William Osler urged us to focus earnestly at the little task at your elbow, letting that be sufficient for the day.
That small, achievable focus, it's the antidote to anxiety about the future. You just execute on what's right in front of you. And maybe the most poignant advice on this comes from the musician Warren Zevon.
Oh, this one is just beautiful.
Zevon was admired by everyone, a real legend. But when he got a terminal cancer diagnosis, the fame, the luxury, all that rock star stuff, it just faded away. Someone asked him for his profound wisdom on life, and he just gave this simple advice: enjoy every sandwich.
Enjoy every sandwich. That phrase, it's just the highest form of disciplined presence. And the source material points out that this is where the Stoics and the Epicureans, who disagreed on a lot, actually found common ground.
Really?
Both schools concluded that real contentment doesn't come from fame or luxury. It comes from being disciplined enough to be present and grateful for the ordinary stuff. A glass of water after a run, a favorite song, the simple act of eating lunch.
We confuse excitement with fulfillment all the time. We chase these huge experiences, thinking happiness is one big transaction away, when the best, most sustainable stuff is usually cheap, if not free.
And wasting the present moment is the definition of letting life pass you by. As the old fitness icon Dave Draper said, aging is for those who sit around and think of yesterday while today is passing them by.
So the takeaway here is that the path to a better life is accessible, but it demands radical honesty. It means stopping the self-deception and appreciating the ordinary.
And that leads to practical action. The sources gave us some great character checkpoints, like have a high, give a key meter when you work with people, meaning you care deeply about the work and the team.
Be a great contributor, not just a great competitor.
Yes. And for anyone with influence, like a parent or a teacher, the advice is clear. Instead of clearing the path for your child, prepare your child for the path.
Which means the ultimate goal of a coach or mentor is to eliminate the coach, to build real self-reliance in the people you're guiding.
And when you look at Gretchen Rubin's 7 Keys to Happiness, eat healthfully, exercise, save wisely, make consistent progress, simplify, engage deeply. They're all simple, practical acts. They're not some grand philosophy. They are the daily work that aligns your inner and outer worlds.
We've seen that external titles, achievements, they're all imposters. But character is what's left when everything else is stripped away. The real challenge is accepting reality, stopping the self-deception, and just committing to the hard work in the dark, long before that lagging indicator of success ever shows up.
And when you stop fooling yourself about what you need, more time, more status, and you focus on better execution and simple gratitude, you find that when your inner and outer worlds harmonize, your relationships do too. Character is what survives the fall. Just like Grant, selling firewood with dignity.
So here's a final provocative thought for you to carry forward, something that ties these ideas of character and humanity together. We learned that our differences are mostly an illusion, and that we have to forgive to heal. If we accept that everybody may not be good, but there is some good in everybody, does practicing that profound spiritual strength of forgiveness for personal wrongs, does that directly prepare us to transcend tribalism and truly embrace all of humanity as our reality group? Something profound to chew on as you go about enjoying every sandwich today.